morning. Where are we going today? We're on a road trip. You saw from my last couple of videos, I kind of had some complaints about the skid plates on the Am Maverick R. They're really super thin, and it was really evident that, especially underneath the engine transmission, they're kind of getting concaved and providing very low protection. So what I'm doing is we're on the road. Myself and I are going to Factory UTV in Sacramento, and I'm going to pick up a full body skid plate, not the A-arms or the trailing arms, but the full body skid plate, and the X-brace, which is basically, it's not really an X, it's a whole flat plate of aircraft aluminum that's going to go underneath the engine transmission and give us double protection. So on our way to Factory UTV in Sacramento, and we'll see you when we get there. Okay, we're looking for it. Gotta turn. Oh, there it is. That looks like the place.
Take the next left, then turn left at Beatty Drive. Take the next left at Beatty Drive, then your destination will be on the right.
Isn't that cool? All right, we are back at the Hoover Maneuver shop, you might say, and we got our skid plate picked up. Didn't spend a lot of time there. They're pretty busy. It's not a giant place, but man, they got a lot to offer. So we're back. We're at the shop. We got our skid pan. So this piece up here, this doesn't replace a piece that's there because the car didn't come with anything at all. Then we have the UHMW 3/8 thick here. I went with 3/8 instead of 1/2 inch because I wanted the little bit lighter weight, and because I got some extra protection with the X-brace. So now the arduous task of taking off the old skid plate. So I came up with this. Look at that. I've got this hokey thing going on here using my scissor lift, and then it got kind of tippy, so then I put my table lift with a jack stand to keep it from tipping over, and then I got my ratchet strap to keep it from sliding off. So anyway, yeah, make fun of me, I don't care, it works. Next thing we got to do is start taking off all those terrible rivets. And anybody that's ever tackled this job or done any of the rivets on these cars, well, they're a pain in the butt. But I have come up with a way to make it a little easier. The problem is when you're drilling out these rivets is as soon as you break through the first layer here or heat it up, the rivets start spinning the same speed of this drill, therefore you're not drilling anymore. So I'm going to show you how I basically overcame that. I got a lot of the rivets out already as I was trying different methods, and I'll shoot some video here showing you how I get the rest of the rivets out. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this rivet right here. First thing I did, I take a really thin pick or punch, and I just kind of put it up in here and kind of knock through the core of the rivet. With the core of the rivet in there, it just kind of makes everything tight and hard to drill through. So I went through and I hit all these rivets, and as I did it and knocked this core out, I could hear it land on the other side. So I know the cores are out. Then after the core, it's time to drill. But like I said, when you start to drill, it spins on you. So I've got this tool. I think I mentioned this tool before. This is one of my most favorite tools. And what I do is I kind of drive it under the rivet here, like so. So I get some kind of wedge it in there. And then after it's wedged in there, I'm taking my 3/16 bit, which is a little bit smaller than the bit you need for the new bolts. That way I'm not hogging the hole out too big. And now I'm going to drill it out. And with this being wedged in here, it keeps the rivet from spinning. So let's see how long this takes. There it is. Pretty quick. Now it's loose. So only have to do that about 162 more times and I'll get this out of here. So bear with me as we do 162 of them next. Okay, we're still at the front of the skid plate here. The instructions tell you to measure, I think it's 10 inches from here over to here, because behind your factory rock slider, there's a rivet right there. And they tell you to measure, drill a hole so you can pop that rivet out. I'm actually going to pull the whole rock slider off to expose that, because in looking at the skid plate, it looks like there's going to be at least one more attachment with the new skid plate that's going to be underneath this or through this. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to fit with the new thicker skid plate just yet. So this is coming off. Okay, skid plate's off, the rock slider's off. There's that rivet that you can't see while the rock slider's on there. You can see the outline where it's covered up. Also on the new skid plate, there's a mounting hole about in here. And you can see there's no factory mounting hole there. So it's going to be interesting to see what we have there as we get to that point. I think I only got a couple more of these rivets left to get this front skid plate off. Okay, it's off here. Let me turn the camera this way. You guys can see what it looks like without a skid plate underneath the front half anyway. I think I'm going to drill these seat sliders out. I think the seat slide's easier. That way I can do it right here and not have to pull the seats. Anyway, I've taken my trusty little pick here and I already poked through all these rivets. There's about 14 of them on the back half, and I've already driven my little pry bar wedge in there, and I'm ready to go through and start drilling. Get this one off. I'm kind of anxious about this one because I want to make it easily removable for the next go around, which it will be because I won't have to drill it out anymore. I can just unbolt it. But for changing the oil and changing the transmission fluid, it'd be way easier having this off. All right, let me get to it. All right, I want to try to show you again how quick this goes, because I know that these rivets can be a real pain in the ass. My wedge is in. That's it. What a lifesaver. Okay, I've got the rest of the skid pan off. So, wide open in here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through all these places where the holes were and where there's parts of the rivet sticking out. I'm just going to punch those through and or drill them out with a 3/16. 3/16 again is a little smaller than what we need. I just want to make sure I don't hog those out initially. Another one right there, right there. So get those taken care of. For reference, I want to show you, here's your front engine drain plug. Here's your rear engine drain plug. Here's your front transmission drain plug. And here's your rear transmission drain plug. Look how easy they are to get to without the skid plate on there. So maybe I can make this to where the rear half comes off real easy. Because I tell you what, I mean, just drilling out these rivets only took me about 10 minutes. Imagine it's just bolts. It might take me 2 or 3 minutes to take the bolts out and drop that skid pan. It's probably well worth it. And again, for that X brace, or you might call it the bash plate, that's going to go on top of the skid pan, that is some aircraft aluminum. It's very, very strong. It's about 1/8 inch thick, but it's very, very strong. You can see how needed it is because this is really wide open. There's no additional cross bracing in here. And if you look at the bottom of the transmission, look how close it is to the bottom of the frame. So just a little bit of flex and you hit the frame. So I'm glad I got that extra brace in there. All right, so I'm gonna get to cleaning this thing up. Okay, yeah, I'm sweating a little bit. So I got the bottom side cleaned up, and now what I want to do is I need to prep it for all the hardware that comes with it. Factory UTV provides all these. These are 1/4-20, kind of a self-tapper. I don't know if you see the threads are cut there. And then of course you got the washers here, so you guys get the idea. It's like the old Rhino days. So anyway, the instructions want you to go around and do a 13/64 hole with a 1/4-20 tap. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through and we're going to prep all these holes so that this thing's ready to go. Okay, well, 13/64. Let me show you what I found. It's pretty much just falling in these holes already. So, looks like Can-Am did part of the job for you. So now what I did, I just took my 1/4-20 bit, or tap, put it in my drill, and I'm going to go through and it's going to tap these. Don't force it, let the tap do the work. Easy peasy. All right, I'm gonna finish this up. Okay, I know what some of you are thinking. Why rely on this screw and that super thin metal that I just tapped to hold everything in? Well, the metal's pretty strong. You guys remember in 2022, Can-Am thickened up all the metal, made it harder. They did something, but it's stronger than it used to be. Second thing is, rib nuts. Yeah, that's what I should probably put in there is rib nuts. These are 1/4-20s, that's a 1/4-20 rib nut. And you know what? Yeah, probably I should. But today, I'm not going to. The back half of the skid pan, I plan on taking that on and off as time goes by. And I'll probably put rib nuts in the frame for that part of it. I don't plan on taking this off very often. So if it holds with just the tapping the holes, then I'm good. It must not be that bad. I'm putting some trust in Factory UTV here that they've done their homework. And I'm sure if these did not hold, they would say you must put rib nuts in there. They're not saying that. Time will tell. Okay, I am taking advantage of the skid plate being off and changing the oil. Here's the thing though, even with the skid plate off, oil drips on that cross member. So yeah, toilet paper rolls, rubber funnels, I mean they're all good. I've tried them, but look, it's still going on that cross member. So that one's a lot better. So it just makes me think I'm going to be taking that skid plate off even when I do an oil change. And yes, I did warm the motor up before I start draining the oil. Okay, we're moving on to the next step. What I did is I kind of lined out the skid plates here. And what I've noticed is the rear skid plate does not go on last because this piece, you can see how it's undercut. It has to go on top of the front skid plate, which makes sense because as you scrape things from the front to the back, you don't want it to catch things. This is the piece I'm going to be removing from time to time to do service on the car. So I figured out what I'm going to do there, and I'll show you. I debated on putting the car on the ground and using a floor jack to just push the skid plate up there. But I didn't want to do that because I wanted to do something different. So I took my straps and hooked the spring up there, went around the frame right here, and they were low. The straps were low, sorry I jumped ahead here, and slid the skid plate in here, and then just tighten the straps up until the skid plate is close to position. So I'm going to start putting the mounting screws in loosely. But getting back to that rear skid pan, almost fell over. Getting back to that rear skid pan, what I'll do when I take it on and off is I'll just loosen up the ones in the rear here, because some of these go through the rear skid pan also anyway. I loosen up and then I can slide it in and out from behind. So let's get this middle one mounted up loosely. Okay, so I've got it tacked up here loosely. Got a little ahead of myself. The rock sliders, you want to get those on in between the frame and the new skid pan. And don't forget, you've got a hole right here that you need to do clearance for, which I've done right there. So rock sliders go on for the skid pan, but you need to make sure you clearance that hole. Okay, I got this, I guess we'll call it the mid plate, and these are loose. And like I said, the rear one, it slides up underneath right here, and I got these started. Now the challenge is going to be that X brace or bash plate, what have you. So you see I got a jack in the back there, kind of hold that end up. I got this side kind of tacked in with these bolts loosely. The bash plate doesn't cover all the way to here. It only goes up to about right here. So by having these in, it's not going to hinder it sliding in the bash plate and then bolting this the rest of the way up. So that's what I'm going to do now. Slide this in, just like so. Okay, jack it up. Right there. Okay, hold what you got. Alright. So that's the farthest bolt that's up on the bash plate. So, just going to bolt it in now. Okay, you got the mid and the rear skid plate anchored down. All the bolts are tight now. I went ahead and tightened them down. The last piece is going to be the front, and I don't think it's going to matter if these are go ahead and make tight. I will note that this hole right here, so here's the left front corner, the next hole back. This one right here, there was no hole in the frame for it. The skid pan was prepped for it, but there's no hole in the frame. So I just drilled it with a number 7 or a 13/64, tapped it with a 1/4-20 and put it in there. So I got the factory rock sliders on here still. You can see the skid pan kind of overlaps it. That's kind of nice. We'll see if I need to upgrade to the factory UTV ones. I mean, they're very nice, but I don't do that much rock crawling. So next thing we're going to do is get this thing on the ground and do the front. But I just wanted to show you how it looks from the back. You see that aluminum skid plate. It's clearly visible from the top side. I'm glad I went that way. You can see how close it is down here to the skid plate. So you bash that thing in a rock or something, you're cracking a case. Okay, we're going to do the front, and hopefully you can see this here. I just wanted to show you that in the back, we've got holes all lined up for the back, these two. We've got a hole for this one. It's already there. These 4, we got a real new holes for. And see how this kind of lays over. What I'm going to do is I got to take these rivets out, and I'm going to slide this up underneath. And I may have to put some heat to this. We'll see. Or I might just let it naturally bow. But more likely I'll put some heat to this right here. And because you can see the difference. So let me get started on getting these rivets out. And just like I did before, and then I'll try to slide the skid plate up underneath there. Okay, I got the rivets off, and I drilled the holes with the number 7 or the 1364, and then I tapped it. And what I found out was I tapped it through some pretty thick metal. It's a lot thicker metal than what was on the rest of the framework. So I think that we're going to have a lot of bite here. And then also, I decided not to put the skid plate behind here. Pretty evident it wasn't intended to go that way from the cutouts for the washers. But it is going to need to be bent. You see that gap there. So I'll put on the vise, put some heat on it, see if I can bend it. All right, so we get a little heat on here, get some bend to it. Straighten it up a little bit better. How's that? That looks bent. Let's see how it mats up on the car. See if I can show you guys. Still got some bend on it. And now, when I lay it up there, it likes it more. I'll get a couple screws in and show you again. All right, the front skid pan is on. So, key thing to see here is these 4 places here. You got to drill holes and tap them, and these take shorter bolts. There are 4 shorter bolts in the kit. They're 1/2 inch. All the other bolts are 3/4 of an inch. The reason why is up behind here it's kind of a double wall in this front piece, and the double wall is about 1/4 to 3/8 apart. So to keep them going through the second layer, because just beyond the second layer is your diff, they use a shorter screw. All of these bite really well, I think, because we got some really thick metal up here. The heat helped. If you were to apply some heat, instead of doing it right here, I would do it closer to this edge right here. But it looks pretty good. It's nice and smooth. We're going to see if we can't get it out on the rocks and try to scar it up some. All right, as you saw in the beginning of the video, it works. You drive over stuff, it scrapes the skid plate, it leaves little marks, but the car keeps going. So, not super exciting, but what is exciting is when you do that, you're not going to damage your car. Man, I'm especially liking this bash plate on here, protect the motor. After having the factory skid plate off and really getting a good look at how close the casing of the transmission and the motor is to the bottom. I mean, you know, I'm not an engineer, but I would like to at least have all that stuff above the lower, the top of the lower frame, if that makes sense. Have all the stuff above that bar. But skid plate's in, it works. I picked the 3/8 thick to kind of lighten up on the weight a little bit. Maybe I added some weight back in by using the bash plate, but so be it. Hope you guys enjoy the video. The subscribers list, wow, thank you. I can't say that enough. Looking forward to Oregon at the end of this month. Going to be up there at UTV Invasion, Coos Bay. Hope to see a lot of you guys there. If you see me, say hi. That'll all be kind of new to me because I'm new to the channel and, you know, I'm just not used to being recognized. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you in the next video.